Hi, welcome to another Feldenkrais video. I hope this is easier for you to see me, so I will just lay down, and I hope you will lay down with me if you find a place on the floor. We are going to be laying on our sides today, so if you know you need a pillow, go grab one now, or you can use your arm. As you rest, sense and feel your contact, taking a moment to feel the sacrum behind your pelvis, and seeing if you can feel breath going backwards there as you breathe. And doing the same behind your heart. Imagine roots growing from the sacrum and heart as you breathe. And now from your third eye, allowing the back of the head to be heavy. Third eye roots into the ground, the back of the chakra. Feeling all three chakras rooted. Relaxing your pelvis and your legs. Relaxing your arms and chest, as well as your back. Relaxing your eyes, the insides of your nose, the space between the eyes, the back of the head and the skull, the back of the neck, and between the ears. And now slowly take your time to roll onto one side. And when you arrive, you can have your arm above you if that's comfortable to rest on, or you can use a pillow. So if I'm using a pillow, my arm might be out in front like this. And just take a moment here to maybe place the top hand in front if it's comfortable with the wrist bent, so you can see if this works for you. If not, have the arm somewhere else, actually off the pelvis, so wherever it's comfortable. Ideally, you want it here, kind of bent at the wrist at 90 degrees and bent at the elbow at 90 degrees. But we're going to be lifting our legs, so lift that top leg up. And again, it doesn't matter which side you're on, so we're just lifting the top leg of whatever side you chose to be on, which would be your other side leg, and lifting it up. Just see how heavy it is. How heavy is your leg? Is it hard to lift? Is there work involved? How high could you lift it without something working? All right, pause for just a moment. And now we're going to keep our knees together, and we're going to lift the heel of the opposite foot, of the foot that's on top, letting the knees stay together. The bottom foot lifts away from the top foot, and I just want you to feel what happens. You can think of pouring the weight from the top knee into the bottom knee as you lift, because that weight goes somewhere. Every time you lift, something gets heavier. So what gets heavier underneath of you? To lift that foot and that lower leg. And now notice your pelvis. Place your hand on your pelvis and see, is it rolling you forward or back in the pelvis? What can you feel? Pause and rest for a moment, resting on your side if it's comfortable. And just see if anything activated, meaning anything got too excited muscularly as you worked. And if it did, do less. You don't have to lift as high or as fast. In fact, the slower you go, the better the movement in the brain, the better it lasts. So we're gonna go ahead and move now from your side that you're on, top knee away from the bottom knee, but keep the 2 feet together. You can imagine there's soft silk tied around your feet and that you just lift one knee away from the other. You can imagine a lot of that weight goes from the top foot to the bottom foot. And you don't have to lift far, just lift as far as you can go comfortably, noticing, does it start to take your shoulder back, the top shoulder? Place your hand on your pelvis and notice, is it going forward or back? You can always cheat and look at me, but see if you can feel it. And then notice that it's taking your pelvis back. If you're not already going back, try taking the pelvis back, lifting the knee. And then once try taking the pelvis forward as you lift the knee and feel that there's no room to go. So then again, try lifting the pelvis, the knee. taking the pelvis back. And you can even start with the pelvis going back and then lift the knee. So try that. The pelvis goes back and then you lift the knee and roll back, pelvis back, knee, and then come to rest for a moment. Let everything settle. And now we're going to alternate. So once lift the foot away, keeping the knees together. Wait for the foot to come all the way back down and then lift the knee, letting the weight go into the foot. Feeling that as you keep the knees together and the foot comes up, the pelvis is rolling forward. As the foot comes back and the knee lifts, the pelvis rolls back. You can place your hand on your pelvis to feel or encourage it to move forward with the foot lifting and back with the knee lifting to make it a little easier. Just feeling how this movement is having the hip glide in these directions, even though we're moving the feet and lower leg and the knee. And then pause that and just once or twice lift your leg and see how light it got. And just notice, wow, that leg is so much easier to lift than it was a moment ago. And then pause and take a rest on your back. And just take a moment to sense and feel the difference between your two sides, noticing what you feel on the side you just worked with and what you feel on the other side. Is one side longer or larger? Does one side have more mass or density in your image? We're going to slowly make our way to the opposite side as you're ready, taking all the time you need. And once you arrive, setting yourself up so your knees are in front of your pelvis and your feet are below your knees for the most part, giving yourself a little length in the back here with the sacrum and tailbone. Have your hand placed in front if it's comfortable. Ideally, it would rest here. If not, you can have it rest however you like. When you're ready, we'll lift that top foot away from the bottom. And you can go very slowly with this. In fact, go so slow that you feel that movement of the hip just naturally happens. You can always place the hand here on the pelvis to feel how the weight comes forward, how the pelvis comes forward. Notice that side you're laying on. Does it get longer, shorter? Does it roll? Notice your breathing. Pause the next time the foot is back where it's supposed to be, on top of the other foot. Not that there's a place you need to be. You can always rest at any time, but we're going to take the top knee away from the bottom knee, letting that weight come into the foot. Just taking all the time you need to take that weight into the foot as the knee lifts and the pelvis starts to roll back, placing the hand on the pelvis if you want to feel the movement backwards. As the knee lifts, the pelvis moves back, making it effortless to lift the knee, almost effortless. And you're breathing comfortably. And notice what that side does, that bottom side. Is it getting longer, shorter? Is it moving in some kind of way over the ribs, over the pelvis? And now once lift the foot, allowing the pelvis to roll forward. And once lift the knee, allowing the pelvis to roll back. Going back and forth like this for a moment at your own pace. You can go as slow as you need to. And again, the slower, the better. Breathing. Slow enough to feel this even breath that comes in and out of its own accord. The next time the leg is back together, take the whole leg and lift it, which we didn't do on this side, but just notice how easy it is to lift your leg. Feel that the pelvis goes in the direction of behind, so you can use this movement to make your way to your back if you like, and just pause and rest for a moment on your back, sensing and feeling your contact. And notice what your two sides feel like. And now bring your legs to standing and have the arms come up in such a way that they will be straight, and you'll have the hands together as though they're glued. The feet are on the floor. You're going to take your arms and hands a little bit to the right with elbows straight and back. And now look at your thumbs as you take your arms to the right and back. And just sense and feel what you notice here. And now look at the ceiling when the hands are back upright. Glue your eyes to a point in front of you and then take everything else to the right. But leave the eyes where they are, so even the head can roll. Just keep the eyes looking at the ceiling. And now glue the back of the head, but take the eyes with the hands. So the back of the head stays where it is, but the eyes go with the hands, the chest can move. And now take everything together so you can let the eyes follow the thumbs again, and just notice if you go further. Once or twice, take the arms to the right and a little bit up. Press into your left foot. Look toward your thumbs and come back. Keep your eyes on your thumbs. Press into the opposite foot as you go to the right and come back. And then pause and rest and let all of that go. And just sense and feel your contact once again. Noticing anything you notice about the contact on the right side versus the left. One side's going to feel different from the other. Let your breath settle. Let your spine rest. Bring your legs up. When you feel ready, we'll take the arms up. And now let's take this triangle to our left. And just notice if it's any easier than it was on the right. Start to take your eyes to follow the thumbs. And now once or twice, take your head and eyes to the right as the arms go to the left. Head and eyes are both rolling opposite of the arms. It's like you're looking over your right shoulder as your arms and chest go to the left. Next time you come back, pause. Take your eyes to the ceiling. Glue your head and eyes to the ceiling and let everything else move. So the back of your head is like it's glued to the floor, eyes are glued to the ceiling, let everything else go around the head and eyes. And now take everything together, noticing if you go further. Start to push into your right foot as you go to the left and go a little bit up, following with your head and eyes. And pause. And just take your arms in one direction and the other. And just notice which direction is easier. And then roll on to that easier side. It could be either side. You're just going to make your way back onto your side and rest. Noticing any difference as you rest on your side from before, if it's more comfortable, or you can sense the bottom part of it more easily where you rest. And then just take a moment to lift that top leg, noticing how that's doing. Go back to once lifting the foot, once lifting the knee, and see if this is any easier. And allow your body to roll with this movement as the pelvis rolls forward in one direction and back in the other. Go ahead and place your hand on your pelvis and let your elbow go back as you lift the knee, and let your elbow come forward as you lift the foot. Pause, rest, and just lift the leg and see if that's any easier. Wonderful. Pause. Take all the time you need. We're going to make our way slowly to our other side. When practicing, always do this a little bit slower so that you have enough time to just really sense and feel your own patterns of movement. We're going to lift that opposite leg once we get onto that opposite side. Just a couple of times to feel the weight. And then go back to the pattern of once lifting the foot and once lifting the knee. And you can feel in the hip what's happening as you breathe. Guide the hip forward, take the elbow forward, hand on the hip, elbow back as the knees lift, forward as the foot lifts. Let everything be heavy and loose on the side you're rolling over. Don't hold anywhere, make this easier if you need to. And then pause and lift the whole leg and just notice if that's easier. Now as you lift the leg, we're going to take the arm too, so have that top arm be in front. We're going to lift them together, keep them together so that the wrist is right with the knee as they lift. Keep them together, and come onto your back. And then we're going to do that again. So coming on to the other side, keep the wrist and the knee together. So you're going to come back onto your side, keeping that wrist and knee together. And we're going to roll again. So wrist and knee stay together, keeping them together. And then when you feel that you are getting to a point where you're going to roll, start to pick up the other wrist and knee, seeing if you can keep them together. Rolling to your other side, but keeping wrist and knee together. So rolling from side to side, but again, the wrist and knee are together on both. And feel the timing. When you start to open up with one, there's a timing where your pelvis wants to go, where everything stays open and not closed. So don't have the habitual need to close yourself in. Keep yourself open and feel that the pelvis will go from side to side, just like this. Easy movement of the pelvis. Easy way to be able to lift our legs. And using this movement, can you start to come to sit or think of how you could? Maybe you grab your toes and use your toes to come up. You can do it any way you want, but find a way to come up that's easy and comfortable. And then just take a moment to sense and feel your contact in seated. You don't have to come forward like me, but just notice how you feel over yourself. Maybe reach an arm out and just feel how your arms are moving now. If you had your hands like this, just like before, can you go from side to side with a little more ease? And I hope your range for the day is improved with everything you do. Thank you for joining me.